Was looking at the horrible forced meme this morning of Dark Brandon. You can always tell like a forced meme or a glowy meme because they kind of come out of nowhere and they don't originate from the places where memes usually come from. They're totally inorganic. So they have this meme, the Dark Brandon meme, where it's Joe Biden. It's basically what it is. It's just the old Trump memes where he was like demonic with like the glowing eyes and then list all the things he was doing. That works because his opponents were always saying he was a demon and literally Hitler. So it worked with the Trump memes because, you know, it would have like him as a glowing-eyed demon and all the stuff, you know, whatever. I mean, the meme, the text of it could vary, but so now they just made glowing eyes on Biden and they call him Dark Brandon, and it has, and they'll list his very minor accomplishments that aren't really accomplishments because they're all stuff that was fucked up under his administration anyway. And I don't blame that guy. He has nothing to do with it. He's just, you know, these presidents they're just figureheads, man. I mean, it's like Ronald McDonald, you know, he's not making the hamburgers, right? He's just the guy out front. So it's the same thing with presidents largely. But almost all of these forced memes are put together by think tanks and intelligence agencies, a lot of taxpayer money. And, you know, we see them come and go. Usually you don't have to counter them because they're so bad. They kill themselves. You know, the meme will burn itself out because it's just so terrible. The thing with memes, especially political ones, is for them to be effective, there has to be some kind of truth to them. In the same way, comedy works better like that. If there's something about it that's truthful, it makes it funny or it makes it poignant. The Dark Brandon meme, it doesn't do any of that stuff because none of that, you can't really attribute any of that stuff to him. Just taking wholesale. What's an wholesale? Wholesale from the Trump meme. But that's how these lefty memes operate. And they're always the ones that are made by the think tanks. And they waste money making these things. They just copy something else and try to pass it off as like their own creation. It never works. It's so transparent and fucking cringy. And the other thing too is it's like you can, I mean, outside of the fact that you can tell like there's nothing organic about it, they just show up overnight and they're usually awful. But the one thing I'll give them here is that at least it's not a wall of text, because lefty memes tend to just be a wall of text. They don't understand how memes work. It's fucking cringy as fuck. But like I said earlier, it'll burn itself out. It's just something to look at, point and laugh at, and then it'll go away. Throughout history, it seems like they switch between those parties as where the sort of evil people are. And in our current sort of paradigm, I mean, there's evil on both sides. I'm absolutely not for any team. I just tend to laugh at the liberals more because they're way more desperate and they have their fingers in way more evil shit. It used to be the other way around, but that's how they keep us constantly fighting. They let that pendulum swing back and forth. But the thing is, yeah, there's probably really the same amount of evil shit going on in the conservative, on the conservative team, but they're not as transparent about it. Like the left people try to take those evil kind of things, like whether it's trying to push degeneracy, trying to normalize pedophilia. You know, they use those things as like a talking point, or they promote it. Whereas I'm sure that shit goes on the other side too, but they're not out and proud about it. So it's easier to make fun of the lefties. Memes are it's not a nebulous type of concept. I mean, although you couldn't really explain it to someone who's uninitiated, like it'd be hard to really, it's a combination of words and images, but you know it when you see it, when it's good, and you also know it when you see it when it's cringe as fuck. And that Doc Brandon stuff, holy shit, man. It's your taxpayer money at work. It'll be gone. But then sometimes there's these other sort of memes that that don't really belong on either side. The Pondering the Orb one, that's one that kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know what the point of that is. I'm pretty sure that's not an organic thing, the way it was foisted on image boards. But it's kind of funny because it's nonsensical. So, and that one's kind of lasted. I still see that around now and again, but it doesn't really seem to be political in any way. I mean, you know, I guess it could fall into the category of like a humor memes, funny memes, which can also be hit and miss. Just depends on the joke. The joke and the humor has to have some kind of truth to it, or else it just falls flat. And that's why the Doc Brandon thing doesn't work. Like, I don't even understand what the concept is. Are they saying he's like some Dark Lord or something? So why would Dark Lord be doing the things that they're saying he's doing? Like, he fixed gas prices, like, was it 80 cents after like they were raised several dollars? It's just sad to watch. You feel it's beyond cringe. You just feel kind of bad for the people doing it. And I think, you know, they know it's no good. But you can't get a group together and give them money to help them come up with stuff like that, because there has to be some kind of passion behind it. And when you're getting paid to do something, you know, for government especially, there's not a lot of passion there. For a couple of fucking months ago, I was like, talked about when I make videos, or when other people do, probably avoid using the G word. I didn't fucking take that advice, because I use it almost every video too. You know, government. What are you gonna do? That's the fucking, it's a big problem. It's a big driver of a lot of the nonsense. But yeah, some things you just can't drop and try to present something interesting. I'd like to, though. But I fly pretty fucking under the radar here, and I'm very happy about that. I couldn't, you know, not get away with anything, because I'm not getting away with anything. I'm just trying to present ideas or concepts. Most of my stuff is usually metaphysical, but when I see something like this, I just have to point and laugh. That's how you get rid of this stuff. You point and laugh. Evil hates being mocked, you know. It doesn't like being made fun of. The devil gets real mad when you ridicule him. That's one thing he can't take, and they can't take, because you know, they want to come across as super serial. Speaking of cereal, it's breakfast time, which means another $4 can of coffee. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.